Alrighty, everybody,
Meow,
to...
meow.
Where's that cat? Welcome to Radio Tekkers, everybody. Spurs versus Chelsea. Ooh boy, it's me, it's Mags. You know what it is? Let's watch along here, as as you say. Let's watch along. Hmm. Radio meowers. It is yeah. It is oh goodness. I don't know why we have the cat jokes this morning. Um
Props to Ori. Lots of love.
Absolutely. I am of course Tanner, aka the Texas Gentleman, and joined with me here, freshly back from vacation. It is the Podfather himself, Mags. Mags, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you wouldn't believe I was on vacation because I had all my content prepped. So everything that I did came out at the normal time. But yeah, needed the time off. It's been like maybe 2.5, 3 years since we've actually had some time away with the pandemic and all that jazz.
Yes.
So yeah, a week on the East Coast felt good. Now back and raring to go for the rest of the season.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm so glad that you were able to escape and have some time, because you're all over the place all the time, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like
you keep saying there is too much Mags. I get it. I get it.
you need to leave, please.
Yeah. Leave some content for the rest of us.
Matt Willis has joined us in the chat. Matt, of course, our normal third man in this tag team trio of ours.
Normal is a stretch.
Matt handing out some diagnoses, maybe at his workplace.
Hormones with your fried breakfast
with some grits. Delicious. Connor McCabe in the chat. How are you doing, Connor? Hope you're doing well.
Sir.
And then Sheeran, Sheeran's in the chat. Sheeran was joined us quite a few times in recent history. Hope you're doing well. And please let me know if I'm getting your name correct, because I think that the X is throwing me off. So I just want to make sure I'm getting it right.
And it's almost like they've watched the Tekkers stream before. 0-0 draw. The Tekkers curse.
We'll see. We'll see if it goes that way. I'm hoping not. This is a very tactically interesting game today. Spurs versus Chelsea. Mags.
Interesting, yes. Spurs kind of were the front runners for a little while in the Premier League. Chelsea been firing on all cylinders with the return of Lukaku. Really interesting game. Two of probably the best strikers in the world with Kane and Lukaku. Hopefully it'll be a banger. But let's see.
Well, of course, and we've got the lineups down there at the bottom, scrolling across the screen, so you can see that who's starting, who's not. I
think the most interesting one is Kepa starting in goal.
Yeah.
That's a brave shout. I assume Mendy was unavailable because they've even got Bettinelli on the bench, so Mendy's not even on the bench. Yikes! I mean, if Son and Kane and Lo Celso can work together well, it could be a busy day for Kepa.
Indeed, I think that's the combination that's going to be the key to Spurs' formula for victory here today. Is Kane, Son, Lo Celso pulling the strings. I think that'd be how you get there. Let's see here. Sheeran, he says, prefer to call me Shar. Shar. Okay, cool. Shar.
Okay.
I'll call it.
Awesome.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, we are doing well. Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well, Shar. Dan Griffin in the chat. How you doing, Dan?
Howdy, Dan.
Hope you're doing well. Connor McCabe says that Brighton 1 point away from Manchester United and that top spot.
Yes, Brighton with a 2-1 victory earlier on today takes them into third. And shout out to Radio Tekkers OG Stephen Gruder and his pick of Brighton. Very astute pick there 18 months ago. Well done, Stephen.
Absolutely. Now, Liverpool are actually at the top spot right now. As of right now, this game could definitely change that. But just for now, I'm slightly happier this morning than normal.
It's only by goal difference, though.
This is correct.
But I think Liverpool's performance have been way more dominant than Man United's. Man United had points in this game against West Ham where they struggled. Liverpool yesterday against Palace, it should have been 6-7 goals.
Yeah. They did start pouring it on yesterday. But
even the shittiest player in Liverpool history, Naby Keita, got on the score sheet with a worlder.
One of the best goals that I've ever seen scored at Anfield while watching along. And he's just like, oh, it's Naby Keita.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the celebration really got me because he just stood there and looked around and like with that big dick energy, like, this is what I bring to the table, lads. Such a great goal. I take back all the horrible things I've said about shitty Naby Keita.
He's a great player. He's a really great player. Goodness. Let's see here. Shar in the chat is saying that we've got a fire game on the 26th of December. That's quite a ways away. But there are games being played that day. It does seem
Boxing Day football is awesome.
Yeah.
Boxing Day and New Year's Day football is absolutely awesome.
Let's see here. Dan Griffin in the chat says that Naby's goal yesterday, by the way, phew. Yes. Yes. He's also asking, Mags, if you've forgotten Andre Voronin and Alberto Aquilani.
Yeah, I have forgotten them. They are also incredibly terrible.
Just incredibly terrible. Let's see here. Or Sean Dundee.
Yeah. Did he even play any games? I don't think he played that many games. Maybe like a handful. Yeah, he was not good.
He was there. He was there for a little bit. Shar is talking about the relegation derby between Arsenal and Norwich. The relegation derby that we talk so much about.
that famous relegation derby that Arsenal are always involved in. I mean, we were talking just before the stream about how last season the world was ending when we saw that Arsenal was in 10th and now they're currently in 13th. How do you spend 150 odd million and lose 3 spots in the league? That's ridiculous.
It is quite fun. I mean, I'm sorry for Arsenal fans, but yeah, it's quite something. Let's see. I mean, kickoff is not too far away here, Mags. Obviously, let's talk about the lineups here. I put them in the banner so you can read them actually as they scroll across the screen right now.
Preparation. He's almost a professional at this.
Almost. If only someone would pay me. Let's see here. For Spurs, we've got Hugo Lloris in goal, Emerson, Romero, Dyer, and Reguilon in the back. Interesting. Little inexperienced, maybe a little more attacking oriented. It seems. Ndombele, Hobier, and Dele Alli. Actually, Dele Alli getting some love here,
and Ndombele getting some love. It seemed that he was on his way out of Tottenham. Couldn't get game time for love nor money. I'm surprised they didn't go with Winks in that spot and perhaps Skip But yeah, I like Ndombele, very attacking, very kind of crazy and unpredictable in his football. I think he'll cause Chelsea quite a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. And then Lo Celso, Son, and Kane round out the starting lineup for Spurs.
Great attacking lineup. Hopefully, I mean, I think one of Tottenham's big problems this season has been how isolated Kane has felt when he's played, and then the same when Son has been playing in that position. So hopefully, having Ali and Ndombele kind of feeding that forward lineup, hopefully he'll get more creation, more chances at goal, and we'll have an exciting game.
On the flip side of things here, the Chelsea starting lineup,
Woof.
Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Woof.
It's interesting.
It certainly is.
Certainly interesting.
Jesus Christ.
Christensen, Silva, Rudiger. We've got Azpilicueta playing a little bit slightly out wide with Alonso, his opposite number on the other side of on the left hand side of the field.
Azpilicueta back to his roots as a wing back.
Mm-hmm. It does seem that way, which is interesting because I've really enjoyed his performances at center back. Kovacic and Jorginho in the midfield. Mount, Havertz, Lukaku look to be spearheading the attack.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid lineup. I mean, there's one of those players doesn't belong, but the other 10 are absolutely amazing quality. So, again, kind of like Tottenham, this should make for a very, very exciting game. The players are now out on the pitch at my end. So, before we go and get into the game, I just want to mention we had the passing of one of our football's greats earlier on today. Jimmy Greaves, who was a massive star for both Chelsea and for Tottenham. So it's a very bittersweet irony that he's passed away today. An absolute legend for club and for country. One of the first kind of British stars to make that crossover into Europe. He was a legend, an absolute legend, and his football is darker without him in it. I mean, I have memories of watching him and Ian St. John on St. Greaves there on Saturday afternoons whilst they set up for the weekend's football. It was a massive part of my childhood in terms of football, even though I kind of missed the bulk of his career. And it's a very sad day for English football.
Certainly, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family at this time, of course. And like you said, it is a very bittersweet thing with it being two teams that he played for quite a while, Spurs and Chelsea.
Well, I think he's still the top scorer for Tottenham. 226 goals in 321 appearances, which is a record that probably will never be broken.
I would say that would be very likely. Now, that being said, Spurs and Chelsea, they tend to be pretty fiery affairs here, Mags. We were very close to kickoff. Do you have any predictions for scoreline or anything else otherwise before we get the ball rolling here?
Yeah, I think this is a match that we could have done with some Eric Lamela in. Just for murdering purposes. But yeah, I think quality-wise, there's not really a lot between the two teams in terms of attacking lineups, but I just feel that Chelsea are more solid all the way around the board. So I think Chelsea are going to edge it. I'm going to go 3-2. I think we're going to have a banger of a game, and we're going to get a lot of goals. Lukaku has been absolutely on fire. Kane and Son should have a good time against Kepa. So there's definitely goals in this game. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-2.
3-2 is a pretty good prediction, I would say. Goodness. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative here.
Shock. The Texan is conservative.
Whoa. Hey, pump those brakes now.
Matt with his prediction.
2-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. No, I'm gonna go 2-1 Spurs. I feel again, and maybe this is an internal conflict that I have personally, but when I look at this Chelsea lineup here for the second time that they've put this one out, except for Azpilicueta, not Azpilicueta, Arrizabalaga, I don't see much attack besides Havertz and Lukaku. I see something that's very defensive.
What other attack do you need? I mean, Mount, Havertz, and Lukaku are deadly. They're a deadly forward line.
I mean, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point, and I concede that maybe I'm missing something. It's an internal problem that I have, but I just see more attacking threat within Spurs. This game is about goals. I see more goals in Spurs today, being at home, than I do with Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, the game could go either way with the attacking lineups that we've got, and we've just kicked off, so I've paused it. Let me know when you're ready. But with the attacking three that both teams have got, there's definitely goals in it. It's just how will the midfield help supply that? And I think with the likes of Jorginho and Kovacevic, I think they are of higher quality, perhaps, of Ale and Højbjerg. The it factor for me is Ndombele. I think he can either control a game or be anonymous. I hope we get the one that controls the game, and I hope we get the one that scores a massive looping worlding goal like he did last season.
That would be quite brilliant. Matt is also saying 2-1 to Spurs, which is interesting. Dan Griffin in the chat says 3-2 to Chelsea.
There we go. Us Northerners, we know what we're talking about.
so it's split even 50-50 here. The players are about to take the knee as we saw the giant golden cockerel up at the top of the stadium. There's no jokes here, ladies and gentlemen.
We are a professional podcast, god damn it.
We have kickoff. Here's Spurs taking on Chelsea. Yeah, this should be fun. Chelsea right on the attack very early on. Kai Havertz proving me wrong. Early penalty shout, but the ref says no. Offsides.
So I'm assuming that's for Lukaku coming through. And that's one thing about his game that he's really brought on well since he's come back from Italy. He was, I mean, we've called him time and time again, he was the quintessential flat track bully. But now his hold-up play and his spreading of the ball is among the very best in the league. He may very well be the most well-rounded striker in the world today.
I mean, it's certainly possible. And he's just so fast. You look at him, and he's like all muscle, but he's quick. He's not sluggish in terms of his muscle. You see somebody built like him, you would expect them to be much slower, and he's just so rapid. He's so quick and agile. It's frightening.
And in his Everton days, and even in his Man United days, his tendency was to hit the ball in front and run onto it himself. Now his ball control is superb. He's really good at keeping that pace, but keeping the ball essentially tied to his feet. And as we say, that Tottenham on the break, this is teed up to be an end-to-end game. I'm actually really excited. 90 seconds in, and both teams are having half chances already.
We were talking about someone, Lukaku having the ball at his feet. I'm pretty sure Son. I'm pretty sure that Son had the ball tied to his feet.
Oof. As Lo Celso down in the box there, but that was a good little run of play by Tottenham. Son with the cross fed out to, I can't quite make that out, but it comes into Lo Celso, and good teamwork in the defending to get shut of the ball for Chelsea, but Lo Celso took a little bit of a knock.
It looks like it was for Kane. Kane kind of made a whiff of it, and then Lo Celso was trying to follow in behind, and then looks like he hurt himself a little bit in the process here.
He's running it off though, and we have a corner for Spurs.
Ooh, Spurs playing it out short. Goes into Lo Celso.
Oh,
Eric Dyer misses a header.
shock horror. Stealing a living Eric Dyer.
Don't say that. He might find himself running up into your living room there, Max.
And is that's another player for Tottenham down? Is it regularly on?
Looks like Romero.
Oh, Romero,
their new
it
signee from Atalanta.
Took a little boot to the knee. Dangerous position for a free kick, though.
Indeed. Who do you fancy here from this position for a free kick? Do you go with Harry Kane or do you? Maybe,
it's a toss up between Kane and Ali for me. Both are pretty good. It doesn't look like Ali's even in the shout for it, so it looks like it's going to be Kane. And he must be desperate for a goal as well.
I mean, he was desperate for Manchester, during the summertime. But maybe a goal will find himself a little bit closer to that destination.
I mean, I'm desperate for him to score because I need the draft points.
Kane, it looks like it took a deflection.
Yep. It's that deflection off a Tottenham player as well, as it goes out for a goal kick, it seems.
Yeah. Seems that way. It was either that or it was Kovacic. I couldn't tell. The replay went by so quick.
No, it's another Spurs corner. Let's see if they can do anything from this. Dan Griffin in the chat, has Kane ever actually scored a free kick? Yeah, I'm sure he has. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but he must have done. Surely.
It would be an
Piss poor corner from Spurs. Yeah. Jesus, that was weak. Beat the first man. Chris's first rule of corners.
It would be an interesting stat if they had Harry Kane taking free kicks and that he's never scored a free kick. Oh, goodness. Son with the pressing game here.
Chelsea playing a little bit of keep ball now.
Ooh.
One-touch football. Oh, they pass back to Kepa. Ah, Jesus, that was terrifying.
I might be a couple seconds ahead of you.
I think you may be. Let's see what
surprisingly,
I can do about
that
it.
Never happens that way. Ooh.
Lukaku blocking a shot for some inexplicable reason.
Oh, goodness.
Chelsea seem to be trying to calm the play down now. Just feeling getting a little bit more confident on the ball.
Here, I'm going to try something real quick, Mags. Do you mind holding down the fort for just a brief moment?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, goodness.
So, you've just got me. So, Dan in the chat, according to Stat Bunker, Kane has scored 2 goals in his career from direct free kicks and 10 from indirect. Not exactly prolific, very true, but I think when your name is Harry Kane, you can pretty much do what you want at Tottenham. I would prefer probably Dele Alli's free kick taking or even Son's, to be fair. But Chelsea trying to win the ball back here from Spurs, a bit panicky in defence. And Tanner is back, it looks like. Hello. Oof.
Howdy.
Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Was your try at whatever successful?
It seems that way, at least for now. Yeah. So here in the service that we use to do our streaming, sometimes you can tell if your internet's poor quality, and sometimes it's a glitch because you've left the window open too long. Mine seems to be the latter. So I just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't having terrible internet as you guys watch me just glitch out all over the place, just talking about random stuff. Yeah.
Well, it happened again. So you was glitching a little bit there. So what you've solved has failed. But Matt comes with the statistics. Hurricanes' last 4 free kicks were against Burnley, 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20. Thanks. What, the ones that he scored? Is that the ones that he's scoring? Matt, do you want to confirm that? Because if he is, I'm very disappointed that Burnley have let him score 4 free kicks in a row.
In 4 consecutive years.
And he's only ever scored against Burnley in free kicks.
That's crazy.
That is a very interesting statistic. That feels like a pub question. Mm-hmm. Spurs on the attack, snuffed out though by Chelsea. Chelsea can't seem to get much of a control on this game, but Højbjerg punts the ball out of the stadium.
I guess the game's over. There's no more ball. Everybody go home. Oh, Chelsea with a throw-in. Lots of people surprised that Alonso started here. I'm not.
No, I think he's played well this season so far. And that was a little bit cynical there by Mr. Kane.
Spurs doing a very good job of pressing and trying to contain, push back Chelsea. But Chelsea keep finding a way out.
And I think that's where Højbjerg has really excelled in his time at Spurs, at being that kind of that leader of the pressing, kind of controlling the midfield and being that the dictator almost, I suppose.
Matt confirming that his stat is actually a lie, so he's not actually scored consecutive free kicks against.
Why would you lie, Matt? Now we can never trust a word you say. It almost makes me want to do this.
I'm certain that caused many people to jump out of their seats just now.
I hope it caused Matt to jump out of his seat for telling fibs.
Oh, goodness. Dan Griffin saying, Højbjerg wanted to go one better than the ball popping in the Liverpool versus AC Milan game by punting one to space. This is true. That was interesting. You don't really see that too often.
No, especially with footballs nowadays being multi-bladdered, they usually can take one of the bladders popping and the other bladders fill up the space. But yeah, you don't normally see a football. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was a horrific miss by Havertz then.
I was about to say, that's very uncharacteristic of him.
Spurs trying to play out of defence. A great long ball. That was phenomenal. But it hasn't really led to anything. Chelsea trying to take a leaf out of Spurs, but with the pressing.
If anybody can tell me or confirm to me here, is this Emerson Royale's first game with Spurs? I don't think it is, but he's obviously a new transfer from Barcelona, and he's down on the ground at this time. But yeah, he was a late addition for Spurs on transfer deadline day, I believe.
So, yeah, I think he's played once in the Premier League before this.
Okay.
Let's have a look. The Spurs. His debut was away to Palace.
No.
When they got absolutely decimated by the team that Liverpool then went on to decimate.
So what you're saying is that there's levels to this.
There certainly is levels, and Burnley are at the very bottom of the levels.
Oh, Son, nice tackle there. On Thiago Silva.
Yeah, it's very rare you see Son showing aggression like that. Usually, it leads to him getting sent off.
True. Sad but true.
Yeah, so Connor in the chat, just some food for thought. Chelsea beat Zenit 1-0 in the first match of the Champions League after it was 0-0 for 55 minutes. That is very true. That did happen. We actually watched that whilst I was away. And my son Mars, who's an ardent Chelsea fan, he was very, very frustrated until Lukaku scored, and then he was happy.
I can imagine. What is he making of Lukaku and Chelsea's chances this season? Because he was very high on Chelsea last year, and rightfully so. They didn't win the league, but they won the Champions League. I'm sure that made him very happy. And then, of course, Lukaku coming in this summer, some of the finer things that Chelsea have done recently. How's he feeling?
He's loving it. He thinks it's the best signing of the season. I mean, obviously he's got a little bit of a bias there, but he's in with a shout. And kind of like me, he sees that Lukaku was he's got a point to prove at Chelsea, and with him not being a prolific scorer there, where he's been a prolific scorer, and saying that, and Chelsea just on the break. But essentially, yeah. Mars is loving it. The fact that Chelsea is so good. Oh, Lukaku! He should have been. Yeah, he should have been greedy there.
He should have taken it, but he passed it back to Mason Mount, my son, who had fluffed his chances.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get Mars to come on a Chelsea match stream with us one time this season, hopefully.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
He does get very passionate. I remember one time Chelsea were beat by Burnley in the cup on penalties, and he literally just went to bed straight after the game and he wouldn't speak to anyone.
Oh goodness. You didn't give him a hard time or anything, did you?
It may I may have had something to do with it, laughing and pointing and snickering. Maybe that may have done.
Let's just get this very Simpson-esque image of you as Homer, like pointing and laughing.
More like Nelson Muntz.
Yeah, there you go. Oh goodness!
Yeah, we watched that game, and we watched the Man United game as well whilst we were away. Jesus Christ, Jesse Lingard, you absolute tool! I mean, he made up for it today.
Made up for it today, but this would be one of those things that you would see on like a football blooper reel, tape from back in the day.
Spurs here with a corner.
Another corner.
Yeah, I mean, how many corners have they had already? 3 corners to 0. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the 4th one now. So I was
about to say. Oh, looked like it fell to Eric Dyer, who went for a header, but it was a very lofted header. It was not on point.
Statistically, the match is pretty even. Spurs had 48% of the ball to Chelsea's 52%. Fairly even on shots with 4 against 3. It's just Spurs are demolishing Chelsea in terms of corners. I have a feeling, though, I can sense a goal is pretty imminent, though. I think Spurs may open the scoring pretty soon. We've actually got a close-up of Thomas Tuchel, and he does not look a happy bunny.
Ooh, Kane free. But it looks like Thiago Silva just stepped right in front of Kane.
Great defending.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kane was well offside anyway.
Yeah,
he ran a little bit early.
He went very early. Which
But that defending though it looks even better because Silva actually went all the way around Kane to get the block. Mr. Ray Cash in the chat, go Ravens. Doesn't Baltimore suck though? I think they may suck a little bit.
Their quarterback is quite excellent. The problem here, I think, is I think that there's a little bit of a hoodoo when it's a little bit of a hesitation, a little bit of nerves when it comes to playoff time. Sometimes with the Baltimore Ravens. Great.
So you're saying they kind of shit the bed when it comes to the big matches?
Absolutely.
You also know if there's been any touchdowns scored yet? Not quite. I'm sure ones are coming.
Plenty college football yesterday, if that's what you're asking. There's lots of them.
LSU were beating Michigan by a lot at halftime. I jumped in Ori's stream, and she was saying how well LSU was doing. I didn't understand what she was talking about.
Ray not impressed by our shithousery of the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, somebody's got to support the Ravens. Suppose. And Ray's drawn the short straw. A Texan that supports Baltimore Ravens, though. Isn't Baltimore like in Maryland?
They do have a big game today. Yes.
And that's like in the Northeast, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Texas is like south, like down south.
Yeah, like right in the center of the country, directly down south, next to Mexico. Yeah.
It's Mexico North, essentially.
It's northern Mexico. That's really what it is. That's gonna really upset a lot of people. A son. Oh, that's not son. That's who is that? Who are you? He's making a breakaway here. It looks like Regulion.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad run. Pity the ball wasn't top notch, but Chelsea have got some holes in this defense.
Kepa's down. Oh, he's hiding the ball. Okay. Didn't know what was going on there.
Rance in the chat. Mags, you spot Burnley from the Black Country. It's not near the Black Country, but this is a thing. Pot meat kettle. That is very true. Matt, I have been through Baltimore on the way to New Jersey. I'm sorry for your loss then, Matt, unfortunately.
That's an amazing fact that you've provided us with. That's amazing.
A harrowing, disappointing fact.
You didn't why were you on your way to New Jersey?
And why would you go through Baltimore? Because New Jersey is closer to England than Baltimore is, surely. So you were like doubling back on yourself.
The only thing I can think of is maybe he was working his way from south to north. Maybe he went to like Disney and then was like, I'll just see the rest of the East Coast. And then he somehow made it up to New Jersey. I don't know.
You Baltimoreans can stick together.
That's fine. I thought you were from Houston. Or are you from Baltimore originally, Ray? Interesting.
Chelsea pressing here in pinning Spurs right back in their own half. But then we get the break and Chelsea panic and flood back. But that's a great ball. Kepa out to meet it though.
Matt says it was for WrestleMania, so I guess that makes sense. He went to WrestleMania, maybe the John Cena versus The Rock WrestleMania. That was in New Jersey, I believe. I think that was the one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ray does not want to speak on whether or not he's from Baltimore or if he's from Houston. So he's not sharing with me as to whether or not he's a real Texan.
No. His place on the Tekkers team may be in jeopardy if he's a phony Texan. A plastic Texan.
I would never threaten Ray with that.
You'll just never look at him the same way again.
Just know who. Ray wanting to plug his show though, the cash in coming soon. Yes, it is.
Or not if he found out he's not really a Texan.
I feel like I've been lied to.
At least, you'll have a new weapon in your arsenal whenever you two are having a debate. And for context, you two in our group chat have some really cool debates. You both seem to be the same, opposite sides of the same coin, usually arguing the same points, defending the same same kind of side, but from different viewpoints. But now at least you'll have a get out. You'll always say, at least I'm an OG Texan.
At least I'm an actual Texan. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. Matt says WrestleMania 35.
Yes, that's when you fell asleep. And Graham got a picture, and I can't remember. I can't, for the laughing mates, find that picture again. So apparently it didn't happen.
So wait, Matt fell asleep while at WrestleMania?
No, it wasn't at WrestleMania. It was at one of. He went to like some indie shows as well, and he fell asleep. And I think was it a black? I want to say it's a Black Label Pro show, but Matt will confirm in the chat. And I swear, and it feels like a Mandela effect at this point, but I swear Graham has shown me a photo of Matt asleep, but I cannot prove it. I can't find the photo, and Matt denies that the photo exists. So I think it may be a bit of Mandela effect. But he also was sat very close to Jordan Grace as well, which is another fact I'm sure he will share.
Well, there you go. See, now all I can get is the picture of Matt, like in a chair, asleep. The janitor, with a sweet broom, like brushing up after everybody's left. There's only one spotlight on the ring, and everything else is dark.
Ray in the chat, love you boys, keep killing it. We love you, even though you lived a lie as a Texan, sir.
You've exposed yourself here.
Hashtag cancelled. And expose yourself in we now know you're not a Texan, rather than like windmilling an air stewardess. That's a different kind of exposing.
Yes, that's a different kind of just disgust.
Yeah. So back to the photo. Graham denies ever receiving that picture, and it was allegedly at the New Japan Ring of Honor G1 at MSG. Yeah, that was the match. What was the show, Matt, where you saw Jordan Grace? I'm sure he'll tell us.
Ray wants Mags on permanent vacation.
I don't think he means that. He's missed me, I can tell.
I want to know what like with Matt. He said he fell asleep at the New Japan Ring of Honor show in the chat. And that's all well and good. Except I remember that show having quite a few bangers on it. I
think it was because he had severe jet lag, and he only got like a couple of hours sleep at the hotel. So it was more his body closing down than him bored shitless of Okada versus Cody Rhodes or whatever the match was. I mean, I'd fall asleep during that match, I suppose.
I mean, Cody's not that great. Yeah, well, don't hate me, AEW fans. I actually like the stuff. I just don't like Cody. Chelsea have yet to concede here, which is surprising. Spurs have really been quite active on offense here.
I mean, the only thing this game has been missing is a goal. referee late with that call there on Marcus Alonso. Yeah, this has been quite an entertaining game, especially with Matt taking over the chat, even though he's actually not here on the stream today. But yeah, I've enjoyed this first 27 minutes or so of this game.
Let's see here. Huh. Yeah, there's some interesting there's some interesting moments here on this card. I just pulled up the G1 Super card. That's the show that Matt attended at Madison Square Garden. So for any wrestling fans out there, this is what Matt was missing. Jeff Cobb versus Will Ospreay.
Banger.
Roosh versus Dalton Castle in a 15-second match.
Well, I mean, Dalton Castle is meh.
Mayu Iwatani putting over Kelly Klein.
Wow.
Yeah. Flip Gordon and Lifeblood defeating Bully Ray, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young. Dragon Lee defeating Ishimori and Bandito.
Wow. And he fell asleep during these matches.
Guerrillas of Destiny defeating Villain Enterprises, Los Ingobernables de Japón, and the Briscoe brothers.
Yes.
Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi by submission to retain the British Heavyweight Championship. Kota Ibushi defeating Tetsuya Naito. I remember that one being particularly brutal. That was for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. There you go.
When Tetsuya Naito meant something to New Japan.
Right. And then, Kazuchika Okada defeating Jay White to win the IWGP.
Ah, yes, I remember now.
That was a good show. Matt does say that it was Black Label Pro, so maybe...
No, that was when he was sat basically straight behind Jordan Grace, and he was too scared to... Yeah, Jordan Rhodes. He was too scared to ask for an autograph.
Oh, goodness. You know, again, this game would actually be pretty good if some of these people have scored. if there would be like some chances put away here, this would actually be a pretty decent enough game. Lukaku holding up the ball, dishes it out, looked like to Mount. Mount receives the ball back from Azpilicueta.
Look at that solid back line by Spurs, though. That's very, very disciplined.
Yep. Havertz takes a shot.
But there's room in the box there. Havertz blocked, but that's a worrying thing to see him have so much room in the 18-yard box. Spread out wide. Can they get the ball to Lukaku? Oh, they're knocking on the door. Both teams are getting closer and closer to scoring.
Ray wants to remind us that Matt Taven winning the Ring of Honor title in the ladder match. Yes, that one also happened.
Yes.
Defeating.
Didn't he put the belt on a purple strap as well?
I think he did.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I've never been a huge Matt Taven fan. There's nothing about him that's offensive. It's just nothing about him that really stands out, and I certainly wouldn't put him as a world champion.
There you go. You know, when I think of Ring of Honor champions, the first name that jumps to mind is not Matt Taven.
Yeah, he's not going to go down in the annals of history as a legend in those Ring of Honor streets.
Matt saying that again, we've broken down from talking about this game to talking about wrestling because
Matt's in the chat and he ruins things.
He wants to talk about wrestling.
No, we love him.
Ray.
We love him.
But there's also not a lot going on here in this game, unfortunately. Let's see here. Matt's saying that he had to be restrained. Interesting. Matt had to be restrained by Graham as far as taking a picture with Jordan Grace.
And it looks like Son's down in the Chelsea box. Good break. Kepa took him out. Did Kepa get the ball first there, though?
I don't know. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving there from Alonso.
Yeah, no, he got the ball. Is this going to VAR? I mean, there is certainly a shout for a penalty with the push from Alonso. I think Kepa has done the right thing there. He was solid in keeping hold of that ball. But, get your magic sponge and your drink out and you'll all be fine.
Magic sponge.
Or in the chat, meow. Oh, quick, let's end the stream. There is a rogue cat in the building. How are you, Mom?
We're very on the nose with all the cat stuff today. Jeez.
I don't think Ori would have it any other way. Carrying us to great things on the Changing Attitude podcast. For context, me and Tanner recorded an episode without it, and we felt lost, didn't we, Tanner? It was wild. It was uncontrolled.
Yes. When that episode comes out, it's not very tame, so you'll have to check it out and see what exactly Ori brings to the table with her absence as Mags and I yell about Raw.
She says she's just waking up and needs some coffee. What the hell is a magic sponge? So a magic sponge is an implement in football where it's essentially a sponge that's wet that you put on a footballer's injury and it magically cures that injury. And no one knows the science behind it. It is literally just, I mean, Tanner just pissed off. I don't know why. But yeah, that's essentially what a magic sponge is. A little bit of water on a sponge makes everything better.
All I got was a little bit of water on a sponge makes everything better.
Yeah, I'm just explaining the wizardry that is a magic sponge.
Oh, yes. Magic sponge.
I don't know that song that Tanner's singing.
It's not.
Tanner got distracted by a cat. Yeah, he almost ended the stream because of that said cat.
Let's see here. No, it was my dog. My dog and my wife, but mostly my dog. She's laying over in her bed. So, fun times.
And just DM'd you, or it's the 30th of September, 1996 episode that you need to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And the one before, because we do need your opinions on the final of the Intercontinental title tournament. The shot win and by God, it's Razor Ramon. But is it really? No, it's fucking not.
Super bitter JR.
Oh.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, Connor, I've been a listener of Changing Attitude since the first episode. Oh, we absolutely massively appreciate that. It's a little kind of a project between the three of us, and it seems to have took on a life of its own and doing some really good numbers over on Chair Shot. So, yeah, definitely come and join and give us your feedback. Tell us what you think about the episodes, because we'd love to talk about that on a future episode of the show. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We do greatly appreciate you and of course anybody else who chooses to tune in and watch or listen to our content. Massive thank you to everybody out there. It's the little things that make us keep doing what we do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst you're here, give us a like, a share, and subscribe here on Radio Tekkers, because we are hoping to do some really cool, big things in the very near future. And we really could do with your help getting to YouTube and Twitch partnership, so we can fulfill our dream of being content creating megastars.
Yeah. All right. We say that as Chelsea are on the break, but it gets snuffed out once again by Tottenham.
The Tottenham defence have been pretty resolute, aside from a couple of times when they've let Havertz and Lukaku free in the box. That's been a solid back four.
It really has been, and we keep getting teased with a chance at goal by both of these teams, and it's not it's not broken through yet.
It's the curse. We watch a game, and it'll be really fun to watch, but it will end 0-0. It's as simple as that.
Ori in the chat is asking a very important question. Yes, how many subscribers do we need on YouTube to get a custom URL? That would be 100. We need 100 subscribers to get that custom URL. So if you're not already subscribed to Radio Tekkers, well, boy howdy. You could help us get to 100, so that way we can finally get that custom URL. We're currently at 61, only 39 away from getting that custom URL. You could be one of those who helps us. Please.
Absolutely.
Give us a subscribe.
And we massively appreciate everybody who's been on this journey with us since we went solo at the beginning, essentially the beginning of the season. It's been an absolutely joyous time, really fun ride, and we want to bring more interesting and unique content, long form and short form watch-alongs. There may be some crossover content coming in the pipeline, maybe some a change in attitude, crossing over content soon. Who knows? But yeah, definitely come and stick around and give us a like and a subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that.
That would be fun. Let's see here. Dan Griffin saying, I wish you guys could have watched the Man U West Ham game. It would have been better for my fantasy team.
And it was actually a really good game. I actually did watch it. Tanner was busy knocking out Zeds.
Yes. This is true. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. It looks like we have got a little bit of a perhaps a corner here for Chelsea. 40-minute mark here. 40-minute, 30-second.
Yep.
Boy.
Alonso with the corner.
Oh. Somebody fell right over. It looked like that was Thiago. Thiago Silva just fell right over on his face.
And still hacked away at the ball.
Yeah. Very good player, that Thiago Silva. Defending will be missing an icon of the game the day that he retires. But it looks like he still has plenty of years left in him.
Yeah, he certainly belies his age. He plays as good as a defender 10 years is junior.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Or we're talking about the pumpkin chat. I'd nipped in her stream yesterday. She totally ignored me whilst I was there. But yeah, I did see some of the pumpkin chat while she was watching Mass Effect. Playing Mass Effect. And it seems like Tanner has muted his mic, but carrying on chatting. That's a Mags trope. Yeah. How dare you gimmick steal, sir? I do that.
Sorry. What's this about pumpkins? I missed this yesterday.
Okay, so Ori had an impromptu late night stream playing Mass Effect. and I was watching UFC, prepping for 5 rounds, which you can find right here on this channel right now. So after you've watched this, go on back and listen to that. But I jumped in for a few minutes and commented a couple of times, and then it just went wild on pumpkins. I wasn't able to stick around for too long, so I don't know what the fallout of the pumpkins was, but yeah, pretty much everybody was commenting pumpkins or some form of pumpkin.
It is pumpkin season. It's getting there. Pumpkin season.
Dan in the chat, I can't blame Ori for ignoring you, Mags. Ori puts up with a lot, carrying you and Tanner on ACIA. Never a truer word was spoken. I don't know how we've managed to keep her on that show for this long. We've done well.
We try. We try our best. Sometimes we try our worst, and yet she still comes back and helps us produce a show. So Ori certainly with a lot of credit is owed to Ori for putting up with us.
Absolutely.
Oh goodness. Don Bailey looks like he's got some issues with his eye. It seems. Looks like medics are on the touch line. He's trying to talk to the referee when he really should be talking to the doctor.
He totally waved off the medic then. He's actually gone to that medical professional, Hoidberg, to help him to get the stuff out of his eye.
He's like, listen, I don't trust these English doctors. Let me get a Danish doctor.
He actually wanted Matt. The problem was Matt's busy working. He wanted Matt to come and give him medical advice.
Matt, doctor of Chile, Willis in the chat here.
So, or explained the pumpkin chat in our stream yesterday. It was we record a changing pumpkin, watching pumpkins call Steve Austin, Dwayne the Pumpkin Johnson, the Pumpkin Taker, etc. Yeah, pumpkins are horrible. Yeah,
you don't like pumpkin. You like pumpkin pie? Do you have pumpkin pie?
It's not a thing here in the UK. No.
It's disappointing.
We don't tend to eat pumpkin a whole lot. We only really see pumpkins around Halloween. But we eat like squash, I suppose. That's a kind of pumpkin.
Yeah, it's a different kind of gourd, I suppose.
But no, pumpkins are not a popular food stuff here in the UK.
Oh gosh. Oh. Well, maybe one day.
Are we missing out
on pumpkin pie?
Yeah,
I think a little bit.
Is it sweet or is it savoury? I mean, you would assume it's savoury.
It's a little bit of both.
Oh, like popcorn.
It is. It is a little bit of both. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory, and then if you put a nice little dollop of like a Cool Whip or whipping cream on top of it.
Cool Whip.
Yeah, it's nice.
I shall have to make some.
Yes, seek it out.
So, what kind of pastry base do you use? Like a sweet flan style base, or like a short crust?
Yeah, probably more like just like a regular.
Because you have it open top, don't you? You don't put a lid on the pie. It's open top usually.
Yeah, it's open top, so there's not like a.
It's like a flan. Yeah, it's like a flan.
Yeah.
I shall endeavour to find a pumpkin and try and make one.
Yeah. You threw me off when you were like, "What kind of crust do you use?" I'm like, "Pie crust." That's the kind that you use. Lots of people like to use a graham cracker crust for it, but you can.
Right. So I threw you off, but you also knew alternatives. So I wasn't wrong in asking. as we get to half time, I think the pumpkin pie chat may continue now.
Indeed. Oh goodness.
Slated Mag Very reasonable question, and making me out to be an idiot.
No, that's not what I was trying to do at all. I was just like, what is he talking about? What do you mean pie crust? It's just pie crust, Max.
Yeah, it's just pie crust, you fucking moron.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, see, or this is what happens when Tanner and I don't have a third wheel to like rein us in.
This actually goes to show how important Matt is to the show, because because without Matt, this is what happens here on Radio Tekkers, and the same could be said for what happens when it's just us on a change in attitude. Again, Tottenham and Chelsea are level 0-0 at halftime.
As is the Radio Tekkers way. Ore said in the chat she would not use a pumpkin, she would use pumpkin pie filling.
Yeah.
Is that not essentially the same thing, though? Is that not just minced cut pumpkin?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But it's got a little bit of extra special something, with the condensed can.
It's not a Jim Ross, like the secret ingredient kind of thing, is it?
No. It's
God, my ranch dressing.
It's not one of those things where you buy the can. You're not
secret ingredient is people.
You're not buying Razor Ramon and then getting somebody else. You're not getting Scott Hall. You're still getting pumpkin, but it's just a little bit different.
I don't even know where I would source a can of pumpkin pie filling. I don't know anywhere in the UK that does it.
If you give me a moment, let me see if I can maybe find you something here.
And I say that, and I found one straight away.
Oh, okay. Well, here I've actually got something here. 1 second.
You've got some pumpkin pie. So Matt with more facts about nonsense. Butternut squash, acorn squash, and sometimes orange flesh vegetables, like sweet potato, I assume, that will be called squash in the USA, are wrongly lumped together as pumpkins. So go on, Matt, what is the difference between a squash or a pumpkin? I assume that it's because they grow on the outside of the soil, I suppose.
This is canned pumpkin, right here.
Okay.
And that's the pumpkin pie. You can see it right there on the label.
Right. So I've got a local shopping centre to us in the UK that sells pumpkin pie mix, and the ingredients are 100% pumpkin. So if I just bought a pumpkin, I would get the same thing as what's in this pumpkin pie mix.
But
try saying that one drunk.
Here's the beauty of it, and you might be able to see this here on the screen. Maybe there you go. It comes with recipes on the can. There you go.
Well, that looks like you rubbed Vaseline all over your camera. But I've got a recipe anyway for pumpkin pie, so.
Oh, you've got a recipe already.
Yeah, I don't mess about. So it's actually sweet shortcrust pastry, so I will definitely get hold of that. Yeah, I will try and make pumpkin pie. Because I don't even know if I like pumpkin because I don't remember having it that often.
Well, maybe you don't. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it's not really a thing that's very popular in your neck of the woods.
No, but I will try it. Anyway, this football match is happening, isn't it?
Well, it kind of was. It kind of was. I mean, we're 0-0 at halftime. Any thoughts on the game here, Mags?
Yeah, I'm looking here on the stats line. Tottenham have took more of the possession. Earlier on, they were about 48%. They now have had 52% of the possession in the first half. again, shots even across the board with 6 apiece. Only one of those 12 shots have actually been on target. And on balance, it looks like it should have been an even game. But for me, I think that Tottenham had the better chances. Tottenham had they looked the more likely to score, I suppose. It's been a fun game to watch, especially with the Pumpkin and Mass Effect and Matt bashing chat that we've had. But yeah, it's I'm hoping for a goal because this is a game that's crying out for a goal, I think. And I think a goal would spark this game into life, and maybe we'll get a couple more after that. But yes, it just seems to be just missing a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so. There is some chat here, not that kind of chat, but there is other chat here. Talking about how you don't have Thanksgiving, and yes, that is obvious that you don't have.
We have nothing to thank. That's why we don't have anything to give thanks for.
I guess my rebuttal is you don't have to have Thanksgiving to enjoy something as good as pumpkin pie. You can always have pumpkin pie without Thanksgiving.
For all the kind of winding up I do of you, I do appreciate and I put a lot of faith in your choices. So if you say pumpkin pie is good, I am willing to try it.
Yeah, it's definitely a fall or winter kind of dessert. I wouldn't say it's great for the summer, but with fall being around the corner, pumpkin pie.
So how do you stand on pumpkin spice coffee from Starbucks? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I like it all right. I'm not gonna be like a fanboy and like go to Starbucks every day to get pumpkin spice whatever, but I do like it as like a treat.
Yeah, again, something that we don't particularly have over here. I mean, the times I've been to Starbucks, I've never seen it.
Or in the chat saying that she needs the pumpkin spice latte, please. Yes, it is getting to be about that time. I actually had a serious football topic for halftime here, but I'm fine with talking more about pumpkins if we must.
Go for it. Okay, and I think there's something that Matt wanted us to mention as well, which would be a perfect time to do so, I suppose. So go on, hit us with your serious football topic, sir.
Okay, so I was on Twitter, and
shock.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? And I came across a friend of ours, the Guru of Matitude, who has popped into our chat on occasion.
Great guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. He and I see things kind of like how Ray and I see things. So like very, very different sides of a coin. But what Matt was perplexed by is that there were people supposedly on Twitter who were calling Thiago Alcantara the one of the greatest Premier League passers of all time, or perhaps the greatest. I'm not sure. I didn't see the tweets that he saw.
Okay.
Now, he was perplexed by this, and me, obviously, being who I am, even as being a Liverpool fan put aside, Thiago Alcantara is one of the most special and most gifted passers of the ball I've ever seen in my life. So I said it's not that far-fetched that maybe people are talking about how Alcantara is one of the best Premier League passers of the ball ever, just because he's just so gifted.
Okay.
And I compared it with other leagues, La Liga and the Bundesliga and other places where he's played. But I think that there's maybe a difference in maybe what people think about who is the best Premier League passer, what makes the best Premier League passer, that kind of thing. Because there was names that were dropped like Gerrard and Scholes and Lampard and a lot of these other people. So like, tell me, Mags, who do you believe is the best Premier League passer of the ball and why?
Okay, so to circle back a little bit to your Thiago point, I think sometimes, especially in Twitter, and we see it in wrestling Twitter and in football Twitter, there's a lot of recency bias. People tend to forget what's gone on in the past and only kind of like look at what's happening now. And whilst Thiago is exceptional,
yes.
I mean, there's arguments that he's not even the best passer of the ball now. I mean, you could make an argument for perhaps Kante could be in there. Fabinho could be in there.
A name here that was brought up quite a bit here by not only the guru of Mattitude, but also our very own Simon Powell, Kevin De Bruyne was brought up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we are blessed in this generation to have a plethora of amazing football talent. It's arguably the most talent-rich generation of players that we've ever seen. But I think a lot of people equate passing to midfielders, generally because they control the game. And I think that's a little bit short-sighted because of me. Three of the most outstanding passers of the ball who seem to be scarily accurate were guys like Cantona. His spreading of the ball and his possession play was amazing. Guys like Dennis Bergkamp, who could control a game by himself. But for me, the one outstanding name is Thierry Henry. That guy, what he could do with a ball was frightening. He could see passes and chances that not many people could see. So I would actually put him as perhaps the best passer of a ball that at least that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that there's things that I mean, particularly when people bring up Scholes and Lampard and Gerrard, for example. I think that there's when I think of Scholes and Gerrard and Lampard, I think of power. I think of their power and their sheer will to make something happen. And I also think that they're better distributors, maybe as opposed to passers. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like they're good at running the game, as opposed to like, oh wow, that was actually quite beautiful, or like, oh like that was a very accurate pass, or technique.
And you know them as people who dictate a game rather than someone who will spread the ball 50, 60 yards and be able to hit a dam. That kind of skill set, and I think that's something that Henry certainly was excellent at. So yeah, I'm in awe of the fact that I've been able to watch the majority of Thierry Henry's career because that guy is phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal as a footballer.
Yeah, I mean, Thierry Henry. I mean, like you said, there was a bit of a shout for Bergkamp, but Henry, again, very that's not one that immediately came to my mind. But as you say that, yes, he was just such a complete player.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily see Henry as an out-and-out striker. You could see him as a winger. You could see him as someone in the centre of the pitch, just dictating play. He was just that good. I dare say, if you put him in defence, he'd do a job.
Yeah, at right back or left back.
And one of the best passes that I've ever seen, though, going off topic, was I want to say it was Frank de Boer, one of the de Boer brothers, playing for Holland, and he lumped it from his defence all the way forward and to Bergkamp, whose control was just glorious. Took out the defence and scored. You need to look that goal up. It's a phenomenal pass.
So N'Golo Kante has actually come onto the field for Mason Mount. And again, surprise, surprise, another Englishman telling me that I'm wrong. This time it's Matt.
But Matt's opinion on Thiago Alcantara is so warped that the minute he jumps in the conversation, you just disregard what he's saying.
Yeah, in fact, I think that actually puts to bed the entire argument for that side. So I think that, if anything, I win this one here.
Yeah, boom.
Oh goodness. But yeah, in essence, Matt is saying that he's had 23 league appearances. Again, I'm not saying that he's the best passer of the ball because of what he's done in the Premier League. What I'm simply saying, my argument here, is that he's the best passer of the ball that I've ever seen, period, just from everything that he's done in his career, that when he makes it to the Premier League, I automatically put him in that upper echelon of passers, of technicians, of midfield wizards that have ever played in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, if we ever get to see the likes of Leon Goretzka or Joshua Kimmich in the Premier League, I think they will be in for a shout of best passers because they were two spicy meatballs.
And I think that just goes to show how and Chelsea have a chance very early here.
Alonso, he has been in some blinding form for Chelsea recently. That was very, very close. Good save by Lloris.
And again, Matt, just to clarify, I'm saying that he's one of the greatest, not that he is the greatest.
It's just a name in the hat, Matt. Don't die on that hill, sir.
Yes. Guru of Mattitude was wondering if Thiago, where he's at in the
it was
history.
Just pausing the question.
Yes, and I said that he is amongst the greatest because he is amongst the greatest people to have ever kicked a football to make a pass, in my opinion.
To placate Matt, I will throw in the name of Didi Hamann. I always thought that he was a classy player. So there, Matt, you can calm down now. Hamann has had his flowers.
He's hopefully no one's microwave meal has been burnt on my account here.
Nobody's got the wrong hormone prescription.
Because he's handling both at the same time.
No player who's played less than 5 years in the league should be in that conversation. I disagree. Juninho only played a couple of years in the Premier League. Fabrizio Ravanelli played 1 season in the Premier League, absolutely lit it on fire, and then went on his merry way. And I'd still class him as an amazing footballer. So no, Matt, that is I don't subscribe to that theory that you have to have put in the tenure to be counted. And yeah, there we go. We placated him. Didi Hamann was an amazing player. There we go.
Yeah.
He was no Vladimir Smitsa, but he was amazing. Chelsea peppering, but going back to the game that we are watching, I promise.
Thankfully.
But Chelsea come out really bright in this first 3 or 4 minutes, peppering Tottenham's defence, and we get another corner.
This will be interesting here. Let's see if Chelsea can make something of this.
And they do.
Wow.
It's a great header.
It's Thiago Silva. Amazing.
Nobody picked him up. That corner kind of just floated around over everybody. Nobody made a play for it, and Thiago Silva on the end. And this is where the game will kick into life. Made his run really deep. Just nobody challenging him for the ball there at all.
Connor's saying that the Tekkers 0-0 curse is broken. I mean, we've had other games that weren't 0-0.
I know we've not always watched it 0-0, but it is broken. You are right.
Yeah, there are times where we really look forward to a game, and said game shits the bed a little bit,
yes.
And this seemed like it was going in that direction. Oh goodness.
the myth of the Tekkers curse is bigger than the legend of it.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Willis saying in the chat, Dele Alli let him go. He absolutely did. Nobody challenging him for the ball. Free chance on goal, and Lloris could do nothing about it.
And
so, now it gets interesting.
Indeed. So again, it's Tottenham 0, Chelsea 1. Thiago Silva scoring in I believe about the 49th minute is what I'm looking at right here.
And there's not really a lot that Tottenham need to change to get back into this game, because attacking wise they've been really exciting to watch. It's just that final ball, that final shot. They just need to test Kepa. Need to get some shots on target. I think that's the main issue.
So I mean, I'm noticing here with Thiago Silva, and of course, yeah. Also, we could point out Phil Foden from this summer's Euros. Are highlights back, Mags? Should I be going and getting myself some highlights?
I think you should have frosted tips.
Frosted tips.
Yes. You'd look cool with frosted tips.
You think so? I should take this hat off and then do frosted tips. No.
I mean, I've got beard highlights. Do they count?
Oh.
Natural old man beard highlights.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jorginho brought the craze back when he dyed his hair brilliant white.
Matt Willis, I don't know if he's posing a question in the chat, but he says,
I think that's a statement.
Best ever player for each current club in the Premier League or in the league Premier League ever. Who?
Oh. So you're saying the 20 players in the league now, who is the best player that has played for them in the Premier League era? That's yeah, I mean, that's a show on its own, I think. But I mean, we can certainly have a stab at it.
We could talk about it.
Okay.
But there's so many players that you would have to go through.
Well, just hot shot it, just off the top of the dome. So let's just go down the table as is now. Liverpool. Who's the best Liverpool player ever? No thought, no context.
In the Premier League era?
Yes, that's what he said.
Steven Gerrard.
Oh, and as we say that, Chelsea almost score again. Again, it's Alonso dictating the attack. For me, Liverpool's best player is probably Suarez.
Oh.
So, Man United.
Manchester United. That's difficult.
Not for me. It's Cantona.
I was gonna say the first three names that came to mind were Cantona, Rooney, and Scholes.
And you could throw Beckham in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, just based off scoring prowess, I would actually say Rooney, because of the goal scoring record.
Yeah,
but
for me, it would be Cantona, just because he was a phenomenon. He just really, really was. For Chelsea, it's got to be top shagger himself, John Terry, surely. In fact, no, I actually take that back. I think it's Petr Cech. I think Petr Cech's been one of the more important signings that Chelsea have ever made.
I would have said probably either Petr Cech or Lampard. I think the problem with Lampard too is that he ended up and this is again maybe a personal problem, but he ended his career not with Chelsea. He went to City, scored on Chelsea, had that baffled look like he just ran over his own dog with his car, and then it's just kind of crazy. Petr Cech's a really great shout. John Terry, you could definitely make the argument. Didier Drogba.
Drogba's a good shout. I mean, I think we're probably always going to skew towards attacking players, because goals kind of like stick in the man more than like clean sheets, I suppose. So let's go with Brighton. I mean, they haven't had much time, so it's probably going to be someone pretty current, someone like Morpay, perhaps.
Yves Basuma.
Yeah, I mean, it's as good a shout as anyone. Eh?
Ben White.
Dunk, maybe.
Dunk.
Sanchez. Sitter, this one for me is pretty cut and dry. It's got to be Aguero, surely.
I would say that you and I are right on point there with Aguero.
So let's go
or David Silva. Or David Silva.
David Silva was quality. But I'd still think Aguero's been more important. Everton in 6th place. I mean, there was long periods where they were just middle of the road. Sure, I think it's got to be someone like Seamus Coleman, perhaps, like a real stalwart of the club.
Coleman. Who played Leighton Baines? Maybe
Leighton Baines is a good shout. Yeah.
Maybe Phil Neville.
Oof, that's a stretch.
No,
we'll go past that one.
Marwan Fellaini.
I mean, he was really good at Everton, just terrible at Man United.
Yeah, I mean, near the end, he was nearly unplayable at Everton.
You could say even Rooney for Everton. Scored a worldie on his debut.
Yeah.
Sure. So Tottenham, it's hard to look past Kane. I mean, I've always had a soft spot for Klinsmann. I always thought he was absolutely amazing, but Kane has brought records left, right, and centre. Oh, the second goal, and that is as scabby as you will ever get. Wow, Chelsea 2. What the hell happened there? Totally left Lloris dead-footed. I think the deflection comes off Eric Dyer.
Yeah, Dyer looking quite disappointed. He's not had a good game here today.
That was just a nothing shot as well. Nothing to really worry. Is it Kante with the shot?
Kante takes the shot and it deflects right off of Dyer's knee. And it's just impossible for Lloris to save.
From the reverse angle, the shot was going wide as well. So, oh dear.
Oh, it bounces right off the bar. Oh, Spurs.
Thomas Tuchel will be very, very pleased with that. Chelsea 2, Tottenham 0. Back to... so have we decided on a Tottenham one? I mean, I know I pitched Kane and Klinsmann. Any thoughts? Lloris.
I would say
Eric Dyer.
It was ironic that we were talking about Spurs as a Chelsea score on them. I would say at his best, Gareth Bale may have been the best player on the planet.
Good shout. Very, very good shout.
At his best, Gareth Bale may have been the best player on the planet.
So then let's get to West Ham. It's a hard shout because I think I'd go with probably Paolo Di Canio. It was
really.
He was a folk hero at West Ham.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who really kind of really stands out as someone who's been their big star in the Premier League though? Maybe Ludo McCloskey, perhaps.
Maybe. Paolo Di Canio. I mean, that's not. I can't really think of anybody else past him or anybody that.
It's because I put him in your mind, and that's all you can think of.
Yeah, all I can think of is him being obnoxious now and him arguing with me why he should be number one if I named somebody else.
So let's get to Brentford, who are doing phenomenally well this season. 9th place. It's Ivan Toney, surely.
Yeah, I would say that Ivan Toney is. It would have to be one of the best. Again, this is recency bias, I guess, but because this is their first Premier League season ever.
You have no option of having recency bias. They've never been there before. So Villa in 10th. they've had some pretty big stars, like guys like Dean Saunders. For me, I think I'd go with Dwight York.
Dwight York's not bad. I mean, you could. I hate the fact that I would even go to the well for this argument, but the fact that Jack Grealish went for $100 million or 100 million euros surely means that he's the most valuable player that Aston Villa has literally ever had.
It's certainly a shout.
I mean, there's not really like a whole lot of I don't know, other players that really popped for me that were like as gifted as Jack Grealish was for Villa. Oh yeah, Matt brought up Carlos Tevez for West Ham. That's an interesting shout. Pounds, dollars, same difference. It's just money. It's an imaginary
construct
that man has developed in order for us to make sure that we're not trading hay for cows.
Brilliant. So in 11th we've got 11th we've got Watford. Again, I think there's only one for me. There's one standout, Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney. It's got to be Troy Deeney. Mm-hmm. Dude, I was watching that goal again the other day, the one that he scored on Leicester City. Oh my gosh.
Ironically, the next one down is Leicester. And again, that's a pretty easy pickings. It's got to be Vardy, surely.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Vardy.
I mean, you could throw in Kante and Mahrez, but I think Vardy's because of longevity of being there.
Long-term impact, him actually being dedicated to staying to Leicester. Mm-hmm. Kasper Schmeichel, though. Kasper Schmeichel could easily be.
Good shout.
Brian Hill is now on the field. Brian Hill. He's there. Finally, Brian Hill has come back.
So in 13th, we've got relegation specialist Arsenal. They've had some huge stars in the Premier League. I mean, this is a team that had...
But before this year, before like the last 3 years, they've had some big stars.
I mean, they went a full season unbeaten with the Invincibles, so there's plenty of people to throw in the hat. But I think we've mentioned two of the biggest ones earlier in Bergkamp and Henry. Absolutely outstanding players. You could throw in the likes of David Platt, who was phenomenal. Sol Campbell was a rock. Patrick Vieira. Emmanuel Petit, any of that kind of invincible team, you could throw in Martin Keown, Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn, but for me, it's Henry.
I mean, you could, it would have to be somebody from that era of Arsenal for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could make the argument for somebody like not Thierry Henry, but like Cesc Fabregas, perhaps.
Yeah.
But again, what did he win after all those guys left? That's a problem. Mm-hmm. Tony Adams is somebody that is being brought up here by Matt in the chat, who is seemingly the only person in the chat right now. David Seaman, I think he just wanted me to say that on YouTube. Igor Stepanovs.
Jesus, I'm surprised he hasn't brought up Pascal Sigan.
Or Andre Arshavin.
Oleg Luzhny. Jesus, he's got Wikipedia of Arsenal 1999-2000 up.
I'm pretty sure that maybe Matt's actually an Arsenal fan. Just judging by the way that this is rolling out here.
I think his brother James is an Arsenal fan.
I think I remember him saying that. Yes.
Yeah. So let's move on to Palace. Again, very few names really stand out to me. Zaha. Is it not got to be Zaha?
I feel like there's been other players that have played for Crystal Palace that are better. Like, I feel like that should be a thing. Let's see here. Crystal Palace. There's somebody that I'm missing here. Did David Bent play for Crystal Palace, or did he play for Villa at one point?
I think Marcus Bent went around. I went to Palace. So they've had like players like Cabaye who played there. Andrew Johnson's played there. Ian Wright started his career there. Speroni played there. So they've had some big players, but for me, it's got to be Ian Wright. It's got to be Wilfried Zaha. I mean,
who am I thinking about? Thinking about somebody.
Mark Bright played there. Lombardo, that's a good shout. Attilio Lombardo.
Darren Bent, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Darren Bent. He didn't play for, but he didn't play for Palace, I don't think. Maybe he played for Villa. So if we're going back to Villa, I mean, Darren Bent is a great shout for Villa, or even Sunderland if you want to take a gamble.
So next we've got Southampton. Again, there's one standout name for me, Matt Letizia.
Yeah,
it's just.
I think that's
a generational talent. Yeah, a generational talent.
Shut case right there. I don't think you can find a better. I mean, and he just got voted into the Premier League Hall of Fame, or he was at least considered for it. Matt Letizia
absolutely should be in there. So in
first round of Premier League Hall of Fame, first ballot. That's cool.
16th we have Wolves. Now Wolves spent quite a lot of time out of the Premier League. They were in it in the early days, but they spent quite a lot of time outside it. So we're gonna have some recency bias definitely. But you could throw in Jota, suppose, Traore. Perhaps Steve Bull, if you're going right back into the old days.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to
Jimenez
to do a little bit of a Google. Kevin Doyle, he played for him. He played for Wolves at one point. Yeah. Again, I think that's the problem that we had with West Ham is that a Wolves player does not jump out at me immediately as like, oh, this is the best ever Wolves player.
Especially in the Premier League era, they've had plenty of really good players from decades past, but none that really jump out as Premier League level players. So then after Wolves, we have Leeds. Who have you got for Leeds? You're muted again, Tanner.
Leeds is another interesting one because, again, they've been down for so long. So again, there might be a little bit of recency bias there too. I mean, I can't even really think of the team that they had before they went down.
So Rio Ferdinand could be in with a shout. But Jonathan Woodgate.
He's so synonymous with United, though, or Manchester United.
That is a fair point. So what about Tony Yeboah, Gary McAllister?
Yeah,
Brian Dean, Harry Kewell. Harry Kewell's a good shout.
There you go. I think that's you.
Mal Viduka.
I think all those names could be in the running for different points, different valid reasons.
Newcastle.
I mean, I think this one's fairly obvious.
It's for me. There's two. It's Peter Beardsley or it's Alan Shearer.
I've got to go with Alan Shearer. I mean, goal scoring record and all. He's an amazing player.
Yep. So Burnley, not many to shout out about, but I mean, a lot of the current crop are players who are far better than Burnley. ever deserve. Players like Ings, who was superb at Burnley. Charlie Austin was absolutely outstanding when he was here. Nick Pope, again, he's phenomenal. Tom Heaton, phenomenal player. Tarkovsky, Ben Mee, Michael Keane. We've actually had some really good players come through Burnley. I mean, we've even had Ian Wright, Joey Barton. When he came here, his career was done, and then he was a legend at Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, Ings makes sense to me, just because of how good he was, how many goals he scored for Burnley.
Oh, it was clinical. Him and Rodriguez were absolutely devastating. Yeah. Oh, a little bit of a tussle there on the match. Rudiger and Emerson squaring off. Last one, Norwich. Again, there's probably going to be a little bit of recency bias. I mean, they were in the Premier League in the very early days and actually made it to Europe, I think, in the first, maybe second Premier League season. Oh, Jesus, Rudiger nearly kicked Emerson's face clean off there.
Well, yeah,
Jesus.
Then almost sat on him.
Almost
sat on him. That's funny.
So, for me, there's probably two for Norwich. Well, three stand out. Chris Sutton, Mark Robbins, and Timo Pukki, I think, are the three standouts.
Pukki was the first one that came to my mind, but yes.
I mean, he scored a great goal this weekend as well. So there we go, Matt.
It's been there a while. We wasted a bunch of time not covering this game to talk about who we thought were the preliminary best ever for each team. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
And if you didn't, direct your complaints to @the UK.
Or you could just not even just specifically about that. If you have complaints, please direct them to.
just go straight to Matt. He's our complaints department.
Doesn't even have to be about this show. You know, you could have got a bad order at McDonald's, and you can just. If
your Amazon parcel arrived damaged, @the UK, and he will sort your problem out.
Let him know.
Yeah. If somebody cuts you up in traffic, @the UK, Matt will sort it out.
We'll probably prescribe some hormones.
That will never not be funny.
I hear he knows a guy.
Wink.
Oh, goodness.
Coming into the last... I mean, we've covered zero of this last 40 minutes of this game, but with this 15 minutes to go, Chelsea still dominating at 2-0. Kepa has cramp, apparently, probably from not doing much of anything.
From standing.
Yeah.
He's just been standing in one place for too long.
He kicks the ball out, initially goes to Tottenham, but Chelsea win the ball back, and just great passing. And Kante is just so good when he's on the ball.
And this is one of the partnerships that I think Chelsea fans in particular have been waiting long to see, is Lukaku and Werner together, kind of, because they do a lot of the same things in terms of they really kind of stretch the play wide and then bring it back in. It'll be interesting to see how they complement each other here.
Yeah, and I'd like to see kind of like going back to retro formations. I mean, there was a long period in English football where it was 4-4-2 all the way across. So it'd be interesting to see a team adopt that formation and have two out-and-out strikers, the likes of Werner and Lukaku powering forward. That's a frightening prospect.
Absolutely.
But then the teams would be overrunning midfield because of that. The kind of fascination of playing very stacked midfields, defenders that are essentially midfielders. Yeah, I think a 4-4-2 would get overwhelmed, but I would like to see it make a bit of a comeback.
Matt is wanting to remind me specifically that we are having an arrow-themed wedding.
An arrow-themed wedding dessert. So arrows in the chocolate bar. Because if that's the case, I'm probably not going to turn up.
Yeah, I think maybe you were targeting Mags, but you brought me up here, and I don't.
So you're the conduit. He's having a dig at me through you.
Yeah, perhaps so.
Divide and conquer.
I don't necessarily have too much of a problem with that.
No, but he knows that I do.
Yeah,
that's the point. He knows that airy chocolate is the bane of my existence.
Now, will the actual cake itself be chocolate, or are we just talking about chocolate shavings? Because,
no, you can't leave us lying like with these half facts, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, because if it's chocolate shavings, then I mean, like, that's fine. But I mean, if you're actually making like a chocolate cake, I'm not a huge fan of chocolate cake.
So you'll have to make something specifically, a Tekkers dessert specifically.
Yeah, like a pumpkin pie.
I knew that was coming. I knew.
Got the recipe right here.
We want pigs in blankets at this wedding. Both styles of pigs in blankets. The real one and the American one.
Indeed. I can definitely make that happen. Matt's also saying he wants a chocolate fountain at his wedding.
Wow, chavvy. Very chavvy.
Yeah. Who's paying for that? You need some help? Chocolate fountains. They're expensive here stateside. I'm not sure.
2010 wants its tacky wedding things back.
You know. I was just about to bring up that there's a very yes, that was a close one. There's a
Timo Werner getting the ball trapped in his feet. Yeah, that could have. I mean, look at them two powering forward together. That is worrying. Yep. If Timo could have kept hold of that ball better, that was the death knell for Tottenham. But go on, I totally cut you off there, Tanner.
No, you're fine. The speed was frightening that Chelsea just displayed there. No, there's a very lowly rated buffet restaurant here in the States called Golden Corral. They're not that good. It's
sounds classy already.
Yeah, it's but yes, chocolate fountains were a really big thing here until Golden Corral installed a chocolate fountain at every one of their restaurants. And that was around 2010. And so since then, that decline, of people looking at the chocolate fountain as being classy is
communal chocolate fountains, though. That can't be a good thing.
Let's see here. Matt saying he's looking for a proper English banquet of fish, sausages, chips, mushy peas, curry sauce, pickled eggs. That sounds
Everyone's
very English.
A winner. That's every one of them is a winner.
that sounds very English.
It's making me feel all patriotic.
I didn't know that this was a Brexit themed wedding. Matt seems upset by the criticism of the chocolate fountain. I'm not having a go at chocolate fountains. It's a chocolate effing fountain.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah, it's your wedding.
2010, Matt.
It's your wedding, Matt. Fun times. Graham's joined us in the chat. Good Cop, Bad Cop Wrestling.
Hello, sir.
He says we have a sausage gravy fountain at breakfast sometimes. Lol.
What? A fountain for sausage gravy. Now I'm assuming it's gravy is in the American sense of essentially
like a
white sauce.
Yeah, flour based gravy, perhaps.
But for breakfast? A fountain?
Breakfast. I'd like to see how that works, actually.
Oh, he's saying not we. So Golden Corral have do they use the same fountain that they use for the chocolate? So it's rinsed. I mean, I hope they clean it out, not just run it through.
Then they go around the back and get a dirty hose and just spray it down.
Just pour the chocolate into the gravy. No one will ever know.
Just spray down the excess gravy off of it and start pumping in chocolate.
Well, you know that they don't spray off; they lick that gravy out.
Oh god!
Yum.
Matt wants to clarify at his wedding. It's an English banquet. He's not having a gravy fountain at his wedding. It's good.
Then you know what you need to do. You need to get that gravy fountain sorted. Otherwise, 2 guests may not be turning up.
Are you pointing out the Americans? The American contingency of the wedding won't show up because there's no.
When I tell Mrs. Maggs that there is going to be a gravy fountain at this wedding, she's not going to rock up. Like, no gravy fountain, no Maggs.
Oh, no, so what you should do, Matt, and I'm not telling you what to do with your wedding, but I kind of am right now, is you should have it run halftime as gravy fountain, and then after the ceremony, chocolate fountain.
Or switch it, but don't tell anybody when you're switching it. So someone may dip, like, say, a fry in there, or like a piece of chicken maybe, and they're like, oh, it's fucking chocolate there.
It's chocolate now.
Or if they dip some, like, a strawberry,
like a strawberry in it,
it's like sausage and strawberries. Delicious. Oh, we need a third wheel. We should make a rule, Tanner, that we are not allowed to podcast without a third wheel.
Somebody needs to be with us to hold our hands the whole way through to make us stick to the game, because it doesn't. Otherwise, we're just going to have to make a whole new show where it's just you and I live streaming for 2 hours talking about whatever.
I would actually taste the strawberry dipped in sausage gravy, to be fair.
See, the other suggestion would be to just make it one clean, not even like a not even clean it out, just to transition it from sausage gravy to chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a middle period where you're kind of getting both.
Or just go the whole hog and just have chocolate gravy.
Chocolate sausage gravy.
Yes. Sounds good. There you go, Matt. There's your winner. Tell Chris, look, we've come to an executive Tekkers decision that the chocolate fountain is nixed, and we're going to have a chocolate gravy fountain. Connor in the chat, I thought this was a football show. You thought wrong.
It's never been a football show.
This is a football show, like Raw is a wrestling show.
The football is just a backdrop for everything else.
Just secondary. It's just second. We are in the food entertainment business.
This is all a charade. You've been misled here. Card subject to change.
Saying that, going back to a stat that's just popped up, at halftime, it was pretty even on the line in terms of shots on target, 6 apiece. Chelsea have absolutely dominated the second half. Tottenham now have had 8 shots with 2 on target. Chelsea have had 15 shots, and 7 of those have been on target, and I think all 7 of those have come in the second half. What a change around in a play. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that dressing room with a Tuchel kind of dressing down of those Chelsea players. There you go, Connor. That's the football chat over and done with for you there, sir.
It would have probably been very much akin to the hair dryer approach. I can imagine that.
I get that vibe from Thomas Tuchel that
he wants it exactly his way, or he will admonish you.
I don't think he suffers fools. Let's just say that. I mean, let's not forget, in one of his earliest matches as Chelsea manager, he brought on Callum Hudson-Odoi and then hauled him off 20 minutes later when he wasn't performing. That is a manager.
Oh, what a nice guy. If you eat from that transition part of the fountain, I believe we're talking about the chocolate sausage gravy fountain here. If you eat from that transition part of the fountain, there would be an upside down volcano immediately after. Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
And that would probably look a little bit like chocolate as well.
So again,
it's not chocolate. Do not dip your strawberries in that. Wow.
So again, just for clarification from a question that was asked a few weeks ago on our special Q&A episode, that one does go out as it goes in. So sorry, Mags. I think Mags was in the middle of some coffee there.
Oh, wow. Oh, Lukaku almost getting another goal there, headed right at the feet of Lloris, but great ball by Rudiger.
Let's talk about some foods that you would use for this chocolate sausage gravy fountain. Is there any food that comes to mind that could be fitting for this here?
I mean, I've had steak with chocolate in the sauce before, so steak would certainly work.
Sausage gravy.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with like breadsticks. Very plain.
I feel like you would need something very neutral for the very extreme flavors that you would be getting.
And I mean, saying that I've had sausages with very sweet flavors in them, so sausage and chocolate doesn't seem out of the realms of possibility, I suppose. Just not in gravy form.
I feel like, the gravy part is the one that... the brown, viscous liquid. Also,
that's what ruins it, yeah.
Also very thick, too, if we're talking about the American-style gravy.
Lumpy, yeah.
Kind of peppery, even. So, yeah, you might...
Very oozing.
Max is going to struggle to finish this episode if we keep talking about this.
See, look at that. Good cop, bad cop, bringing us back on board. Sanchez on for Romero just to bring a little bit of footy into the conversation. I feel that happened quite a while ago. We just totally ignored it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Graham. We appreciate it. We really do. Because that's what we're...
I mean, we totally missed the skip for Ndombele substitution as well. We didn't even bring that up. The two Chelsea ones, though, we have mentioned. So we're on track. We've got a good batting average.
Yeah. Sorry, Spurs fans. We failed you on this one.
No, Spurs fan.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it looks like Chelsea just trying to close shop here. It would take some major late heroics from Spurs to pull something back.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go, and it's looking like it's all over. Bar the shouting now. If anybody's looking like they're going to get another goal, it does look like it's going to be Chelsea to kind of put that death knell in. But yeah, going into the last minute of normal time, nearly 90 seconds of normal time to go.
You were saying, though, you were about to say something.
What was that?
I think you were
about.
I don't remember.
that clearly works.
You were saying so, and then I think we were talking. I think we immediately talked about something game related.
Yeah, Graham has saved us. He's brought us back onto a track after talking about poo-coloured gravies. So yeah, we'll leave that one there. That can be a blooper. I'm sure gravy, chocolate sauce will get brought up again. These memes never die on this show.
Oh goodness. Yeah, that would be worth the money. Worth the money to get that done. Just to say that you had it done. chocolate gravy sausage fountain.
I mean, having it at your wedding, though, Matt, come on. I thought you were classier than that.
Which part? The chocolate fountain or the chocolate gravy sausage fountain?
Ooh, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got added time here.
I can't see there being more. 4 minutes? I'm surprised there's actually that much.
I think the majority of it was due to Kepa pretending to be
pretending
to be hurt. Oh, goodness.
Connor in the chat asking what will be the game of the week next week. Don't you be stealing our game there, young Connor, sir, for your watch along. No, only joking there. I think we've been discussing which games we'll be looking at. I think we were talking about maybe doing a double barrel next week.
Yeah, we might have to do a little bit of a double. I mean, there is Chelsea Man City on Saturday, and then there's also Arsenal Tottenham on Sunday.
Brentford Liverpool.
Yeah, Brentford Liverpool. Matt's trying to make a big claim for Brentford and Liverpool. I personally don't mind waking up for City and Chelsea. But out of the 6 fans that Pep Guardiola says that City have, maybe only one of them would tune into the stream.
Yeah.
So,
those Chelsea, those City statements they're not painting themselves. And that's a third goal.
Antonio Rudiger with a third goal.
And yeah, that's the death knell. I thought a third goal was going to come, and it didn't. Lloris was absolutely nowhere near that. Rudiger's got his shooting boots on recently. Something going wrong there. But yeah, it was simple play by Chelsea. Played across the middle of the 18-yard box. Rudiger free, just squares it into the bottom corner. Great goal.
Oh goodness.
Matt is saying maybe do all 3. Jesus, I get complained at for being on so much Radio Tekkers content already. Can you imagine if we did 3 watch-alongs in a weekend? Tanner would have my guts for garters. So I think we need to have some executive decisions, and maybe 2 is a stretch because he'll say, right, you can't do 5 rounds this week because that's too much Mags content.
I mean, it's up to you, buddy. It's up to you. And I apologize to everybody. I know that my internet quality has been utter garbage all show, but
it happens.
It happens. But yeah, it's up to you guys. If you really want to do all 3, then we will do all 3. As long as Mrs. Mags is okay with you doing that, and as long as you're okay with you doing that.
She may murder me.
Well, then let's not do that then.
No, I mean we will discuss it in our management chat.
Yes. So I guess wait until next week to find out more if we'll be doing all 3 games or whatever.
But we will certainly let you know. Connor's asked a question in the chat. Do City fans just not like the team and not buy tickets? City, for all their recent kind of success, they're not a hugely well-supported team. Let's just put it that way.
A lot of the big... sorry to cut you off.
It's fine.
I feel like a lot of the time that you see, the Etihad packed for a game is mostly because of one of 2 things: massive away support, or that it's a major headline game where there's a lot of tourist focus, perhaps. Well, they're very much a tourist club. Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm in Manchester. I want to see a very, expensive team play.
Yeah, I mean the support now is kind of on the same lines of Manchester United and Liverpool, where they get a lot of outside of the town support because they're a big team now. But if you go to the actual city of Manchester, you don't see a hell of a lot of Manchester fans in blue. It does tend to be the red side of Manchester that is prominent. And I think Chris posted in our chat a recent article that actually said that Burnley, who is not a Manchester team at all, is better supported than the Manchester City are in the city of Manchester, which is, it just goes to show how sometimes the levels of success you can have and the fan base aren't always in line.
Yeah. Very, very sad. It's very sad.
But this game is now over.
Yes.
Chelsea 3, Tottenham 0. What we should do now, I suppose, is go for man of the match and goal of the match, perhaps.
Ooh, man of the match. Look, Thiago Silva has been excellent all game. Excellent defending, very aware. He's clearly the leader in defense. With all due respect to Azpilicueta, Azpilicueta. What am I talking about? He's very much the clear leader in terms of the center back options. And then he got on the score sheet today too, didn't he?
He certainly did. Thiago Silva is a great shout for me. I think I'm tempted to go with Marcos Alonso. I think he had a very exciting game. He was, especially in the early stages, he was the pivotal point in the majority of Chelsea's attack, bounding down that wing. So I think I'm going to give it him. I know he didn't get on the score sheet, but he was certainly involved in a lot of the good quality play that Chelsea had. So it's Alonso for me.
Oh, there you go. I think those are good picks. Did you have a particular favorite for goal?
Yeah, I mean, none of the goals were really kind of world class or really stood out in terms of quality. I think I prefer the Rudiger one, just for the way he cut across the defence. But I've got to give it to the Dyer own goal, because Eric Dyer is stealing a living, and he absolutely deserved that own goal. So I'm going to go with Dyer.
I just love the hate for Eric Dyer here.
It's because he got an England call up when he wasn't even in the Tottenham squad, and Tarkowski was putting in amazing games for Burnley, and he was overlooked. That's why I hate Eric Dyer.
That's fair.
Yeah, political.
Oh, that's definitely fair. All right, good deal. Well, we've got more stuff going on over here at Radio Tekkers. Obviously, some of the shorter side contents slowed down just a wee bit, obviously with the transfer window closing, but we'll have more of that short form content rolling very, very soon. Mags obviously holding down the house as far as MMA and UFC is concerned, doing 5 rounds, which you need to go and check that out, because the episode of 5 rounds right now is doing very, very well on the channel.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's amazing actually, because I'm looking at it here. It's got people that are this is weird. This is almost bad to say, but people are actually watching the whole video through, which is nice. That's actually very rare for even
rude. Why would they not, sir? Why would they not?
It's very rare actually for people to watch the whole video not just 5 rounds, but any video, even somebody as big as PewDiePie. People just watch the first 20 seconds and they get disinterested and then they leave. But
I was actually talking with Simon about that.
Oh, I thought you were going to be talking about. I was talking with PewDiePie.
No, I was actually talking with Simon about viewer times and saying how Chain Wrestling, another Radio Tekkers show, is doing great numbers in terms of retention of viewers and people sticking around for long periods in the stream. So yeah, we've got a very loyal fan base, and we appreciate the hell out of every single one of them. They're absolutely all amazing, and we just wish there were more of you. So tell your friends, get them all subscribing, and definitely come and get involved. But yeah, definitely check out Radio Tekkers. Check out 5 Rounds. I absolutely love doing that show, and it's the video content is exclusive here on Radio Tekkers, so you can't find it anywhere else.
Absolutely. And speaking of Simon, he's brought one of his shows, SJP Wrestling, is now exclusive as a podcast to Radio Tekkers. So you can find that on the Radio Tekkers podcast network feed. He'll be dropping some episodes. It's fantastic stuff. I got to participate in one of those, so you'll be able to check that one out soon. And then we've got plenty of other stuff in the pipeline as well. The two newest, or two of the newest members of Team Tekkers, Ora and Ray, have both got cool short form and long form ideas in the bag, and they'll be starting their content very soon. And we've also been talking with one of our very good friends, Mr. Conrad Newton over at Near Falls, about some cross promotions there. So hopefully we'll be able to bring more content from those. And again, I mentioned it earlier in the show, but me, Tanner, and I have been discussing maybe bringing some crossovers of a Changing Attitude to the Radio Tekkers channel. So definitely keep your eye out for that in the very near future. And Tanner's internet has definitely shit the bed now. Make sure to check out the content as it rolls out.
Yeah, but Matt did want us to mention one thing before we closed up shop. He will be doing an episode of rapid review covering this weekend's football. That'll be on later on this evening. So stick around for that. I think he's starting in about an hour or so. So definitely stick around. But yeah, that's all from us here at Tekkers now. So thank you all for watching along. We appreciate every single one of you. Tanner's internet has ruined it, so he says he hates every one of you. So goodbye, and see you all next time.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. And like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about Radio Tekkers. You can follow Mags at Podfather Mags. You can follow me at TexasGentleman_. And you guys take care. Be safe out there. Know that we love you, and we'll see you again very, very soon.